Greetings everyone, all my favourite fellow fans. It's me, your host, Bloody Jack from the Bloody Jack Show, and I'm here with another horror study video. Now, as you know, in my last video I talked about the Alien, and I was going to talk about the Predator, but that was a failed video, and I will probably might go back to doing it in future. I was going to talk about the Gremlins and the Critters, but those videos got way out of hand. The recording kept cutting out, the audio screwed up, and I could not edit that whatsoever. So instead, today I'm going to continue this series with me talking about Freddy Kruger. Now, bear in mind, I will be talking about Freddy Kruger from both versions of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I'll be talking about the mythology of him from the original 1984 film, who was played by Robert Englund, and the 2010 Michael Bay remake version, who was played by, Jack Hurley, basically the guy who played Rorschach in Watchmen. Now, without further ado, let's get down to the business. Now we're going to start off with the original series first. I got my notes down, and let's get down to the video. In April 1941, a young girl was accidentally locked in the sanitarium of Western Hills Psychiatric Institute in Springwood over the holidays. The inmates kept her hidden for days. She was raped hundreds of times. When she was found, she was barely alive. That girl was Amanda Kruger. Her child was Freddy, the bastard son of 100 maniacs. Frederick Charles Kruger was born in February 1942 and was shifted from one foster home to another throughout his childhood, learning nothing but torment and hatred along the way. Called Freddy, he was constantly ridiculed for his infamous brutal conception. It was then he started murdering small animals, and as he grew into his adulthood, he turned to psychotic behavior on him. He basically did like psychotic behavior onto himself, onto his own body, like he kept doing self-harm on himself. After suffering abuse from his stepfather for many years, he brutally murdered him with a razor. Freddy finally returned to his hometown of Springwood. He was disgusted to see the picture of a perfect town full of happy families in their tidy homes. With that jealousy and disgust building up inside of him, Freddy became one of the most notorious child killers alive, finding employment maintaining the boilers, an old steam plant on the outskirts of town. Freddy would settle down and have a family of his own, all the time plotting his revenge upon life itself. While working in the plant, he went onto the construct of the first of his infamous 6-inch blade gloves, made from the old glove and 4 razor-sharp blades that he attached to the glove with interlocking metal sections and rivets. He began his killing spree known as the Springwood Slasher from 1975 to 1977. He kidnapped and murdered 23 children. Freddy's downfall came when his wife discovered the bladed glove and a multiple of newspaper clippings about the child murders in their basement. Despite her tearful assurances, that's the word I'm looking for, that she would not tell of what she knew. The paranoid Freddy would go on to throttle his wife in front of his horrified daughter. Soon afterwards, Freddy was arrested and charged with the murders of his wife and the missing children of the town. However, in their haste, the bungling officers forgot to read Freddy his rights. He was unexpectedly freed on their... well, yeah, he was basically freed with no charges or anything like that. Seeing that the threat he posed, the court placed his daughter in an orphanage. The enraged parents of Springwood then took the law into their own hands. They followed Kruger to a building where he took his victims and ignited it with gasoline into a raging inferno. However, no one expected the end result of this act. Freddy's soul was so corrupt that it was decided he could be of use he could be the use to Dean Dreamers imprisoned in hell. When he was promised eternal life in the world of dreams, Freddy could hardly refuse. Ever since that night, Freddy Krueger has taken his revenge on the parents of Springwood by stalking their children through their dreams. Each time is able to twist what would seem to be a normal dream into his own brutal imagination's delight of terror. Some children have escaped, thinking they have defeated him, only to have him rise again. Sometime later, there is only one documented case of Kruger meeting his match. While in hell, he was able to awake Jason Voorhees of Camp Crystal Lake. Infamy. Freddy was then able to use Jason to strike fear into the kids of Elm Street. This plan backfired when the masked killer could not be shut down. This led to a big confrontation both in the dream and the real world. Freddy still lingers in the pits of hell, with no indication if or when he will return. Now we move on to the remake. Fred Krueger is a more dark and sinister being that keeps the jokes to a minimum. He still has some humor, but he mainly scares his victims to be. In life, he was the caretaker of a small preschool who loved to play with the children. When some children began to talk of him doing horrible things to them in the school basement, the parents were enraged. They formed a lynch mob and went after him. He had fled to the school, and the parents eventually caught up with him, chasing him down to an abandoned factory and burning him alive. He tries to get the former children, now teens, to remember him by haunting them in their sleep. Once they're their weakest, he kills them as they drift off to sleep. When Cigarette and Quentin Smith are the only Elm Street kids left, they begin to do research and figure out who this evil dream man really is. They find the abandoned rundown preschool and the hidden quote-unquote cave, which was a crawl space. It was where Fred would take the children and do awful things to them. Nancy found pictures of herself as a child in the hidden room. Though it was never blatantly started in the original movie series, Freddy is officially declared a child molester in this retelling. Nancy and Quentin decide to pull Freddy out of the dream realm in order to kill him once and for all. Nancy slices Freddy's neck after a struggle, and it presumably kills him. She then sets the basement of the school on fire and gets out with Quentin. Later on, the firefighters say that there was no sign of a body. Nancy and her mother are back home, but Freddy jumps out of the mirror, impaling the mother with his glove and pulling her back through to his realm. That's as far as I've gotten with the mythology of Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I only talked about the first movie and part of Freddy vs. Jason, and also I talked about the remake. Hope you like this video. I'll be doing another horror study video soon at some point, where I will dig into the mythology of horror characters in the future. And yeah, I hope you like this video. Please leave a like, comment and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch and Reddit, where I'll put all the info in the description below. And also, if you want to send me an email, you can find it on my channel somewhere on here. And also, I think that's it right now. Yeah, that's all I've got to say right now. And I'm Bloody Jack. This has been my horror study series. Hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.